Hi there, I'm Lucy Rosensteel and I work at General Motors. I am an assistant program engineering manager and I work on the future heavy duty truck programs. So what that means is the chief engineer is responsible for launching the entire program, making sure that we can design, engineer, test, validate, and manufacture first, and then sell the vehicle to the customers. So the chief engineer is the person in charge of that. And then below the chief is the program engineering manager, and then there's me. So I'm kind of the third person in line in charge of getting this out the door. There's obviously a lot of other executives in the company and a ton of support members that help us as well, but it's what our core function is to make sure that this truck is successful. And then as a program team member, I have experience that I'm able to weigh in a situation and help guide them towards which direction they may need to go or different options they might need to consider that they haven't yet thought of. So a lot of times I'm kind of an advocate for change and thinking outside the box and trying to challenge teams to be their best. So I do a lot of leading of folks. I also am responsible for making decisions. The chief is the main decision maker on the program and the PEM below him. And then I, as an APEM, Assistant Program Engineering Manager, am often empowered to make decisions on their behalf if they're unable to join the meeting. And since we have so many meetings, they can't be in all of them at once. So there's a lot of times where I'm asked to make decisions on different functions or to help guide the team and act as the program team representation. And then I feed that back to my program engineering manager and chief after the fact, but I do make some decisions on my own. And it's kind of crazy when I stop and think about that the decisions that I'm making and the guidance that I'm providing is impacting this truck that customers are going to be driving out on the road someday, towing campers and trailers with other stuff on it. So I am making decisions and affecting change that in a couple years, even you guys or some folks in your family might experience. So it's kind of a really cool and humbling thought when you put it in that perspective. Problem solving is really the biggest thing that I do. It doesn't mean I have the answers, but a lot of times I can ask questions and help guide people through the problem solving process. The biggest thing that program taught me and the different courses that I took was problem solving, how to apply critical thinking to solve a problem, ask questions where you need help, and then dealing with ambiguity, right? Come up with a solution because there's ambiguity all over in the real world. And when you're in high school and college, there's a lot of closed situations, but that's not really realistic. In the real world, there's not some defined window that you work within. You work within all of it. So dealing with ambiguity and problem solving were two of the biggest things that I got from the CTE program. Also the exposure to broad engineering disciplines that helped me get here today, because when I started college, a lot of my friends had no exposure to engineering. And then I had already taken, I think, probably 7 different courses in the subject. So I already had narrowed down to 2 different majors between civil and mechanical engineering based on everything that I'd already learned in the CTE program. And then over the next 2 years, so halfway through college when I had to declare, I was able to confidently decide mechanical engineering and figure out what I wanted to do with that. So the CTE program gave me the confidence to make those decisions and complete my college degree in the 4-year time slot and not have to extend because I couldn't make up my mind. So I really appreciate the exposure that it gave me. It also gave me a really good jumpstart for the engineering classes that I took in college. Like I said, I had exposure that my classmates did not, and having the critical thinking in place and the problem solving thinking in place helped a lot. A lot of the college classes, the first 2 years, are very equation based and book heavy, and it's a lot of stuff that I don't use today, but the thinking process and the methods I use to address the different problems is what I do use today. And a lot of that started before college for me because of the CTE program.